Hi, students. Sorry I'm not at class today, but what you're going to be working on is this worksheet. We're going to together do the front, and then you by yourself are going to do the back. So the first thing I want to remind you of is that the formula for the volume of a prism is capital B times H. Capital B is the area of the base times the height of the whole shape. So when we look at this first one, I've kind of already got this drawn out for you. Our base right here is 13 by 8. So 13 times 8, because that's a rectangle. To find the area of a rectangle, you do 13 times 8. Then times the height of the whole thing is 7. So you do 13 times 8 times 7 is 728. And then our units for volume are always cubed. So yards cubed. Okay, our next question. Now, I will say I'm going pretty quickly. Feel free to pause the video as needed. Our base is a circle. So remember, we got to find the area of a circle. Apple pies are 2. Apple pies are 2. We use 3.14 as pi. Now I need the radius. The radius is halfway across the circle. Halfway across the circle is 3, because all the way across the circle is 6. So pi times 3 squared, and then times the height of the whole thing, which is 8. So then we type that in our calculator, 3.14 times 3 squared times 8, and we get 226.08 inches cubed, because we're always doing units cubed. Okay, our next one is again a circle, so I need the area of a circle. Apple pies are 2. So pi times the radius. Lucky us, it already tells us that the radius is 7. Pi times the radius squared times the height of the whole shape is 10. So I type that in the calculator, 3.14 times 7 squared times 10, and I get 1,538.6. What is that? Millimeters cubed. Again, pause the video if you need to. Moving on to question 4, which is similar to question 3. Apple pies are 2, because the area of the base is a circle. So pi times the radius is 8 squared times the height of the whole shape is 12. 3.14 times 8 squared times 12 equals 2,411.52 feet cubed. Okay, those last 3 were pretty similar, so I went pretty quickly. But now let's look at question 5. It is different, and it can be challenging sometimes. This picture makes it look like the base is a rectangle, but that is not true. The base is always, what shape do you have that is the same on both sides of our prism? So in this case, we have a triangle on both sides. Now I say both sides or it's on top or bottom, right? Just like we had for circles. This rectangle on the bottom, there's not also a rectangle on the top. It all meets at a point at the top. So that's how we know the base is not a rectangle, but the base is a triangle. So now I got to find the area of this triangle times the height of the whole thing. Well, the height of the whole thing is really just the distance between those two parallel triangles. So area for a triangle is base times height times 1/2, or divided by 2, whatever is your preference. The base is 7, the base of this triangle, times the height of the triangle, which is 5, times 1/2. Then times the height of the whole shape, or the distance between the two parallel triangles, is 13. So 7 times 5 times 1/2 times 13 is 227.5, or 0.5 feet cubed. Okay, now we have a cube. Those are nice and easy. Now this one looks kind of tilted, so it's really hard to tell what is the base and what is the sides. But when it's a cube, it really doesn't matter which one we choose as the base, because they are all the same. They're all the same. So we do 6 times 6 for the base of this cube, times the height of the whole cube, which is 6. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216 yards cubed. I love cubes because those are nice and easy. Okay, we got all triangular prisms on the bottom. Now, I love how they drew this because the triangle that's parallel to each other is on the bottom and shaded in. So it's a lot easier to tell that that is our base. But here's the tricky thing. Our 90-degree angle is right here. So that means when I'm doing base times height times 1/2, I'm actually doing 5 times 5 times 1/2 times the height of the whole shape. So 5 times 5 times 1/2 times the height of the whole shape gives me 125 millimeters cubed. Okay, our almost last one. Again, I love how they have it drawn. They're not trying to trick us at all. Our triangles are the parallel bases. Our height is 12. The trick here is that 90-degree angle is right here in the corner. So that's our base of the triangle, and that's the height of the triangle. 6 times 6 times 1/2, then times the height of the whole thing. Excuse me. So in my calculator, 6 times 6 times 1/2 times the height of the whole thing is 216 inches cubed, because again, we do cubic inches. Okay, our very last one. This one is a challenge again. They make it look like the base is a rectangle, but that is not true because there's not a parallel rectangle on top. Instead, when I'm finding my parallel shapes, it's this right here, these two triangles. So my 90-degree angle is right here. So I know my base and my height are 7 times 5 times 1/2 times the height of the whole thing, which is really the distance between the two triangles, which is 13. And hey, would you notice that? It looks exactly like what we have up here. So I don't even have to type it in my calculator. 227.5, but this time it's centimeters cubed. Okay, feel free to pause that video, go as fast or as slow as you need to help you solve each of these questions. Show your work. When you're done, you are doing the back of the worksheet by yourself. Feel free to refer back to this video if you get stuck and don't remember how to do a shape. Good luck.